I see you, I feel you. Who's your favorite singer? Celine Dion. I'm very venerated to sing it for all of you. Celine Tam's upward thrust to repute was marvelous, but her fall became heartbreaking, and shockingly, it wasn't simply the ad loss that modified the whole thing. Behind the applause was a harsh fact that no one saw coming, a fact that could leave the young me star struggling to stay relevant and fighting for her place in the industry. Tune in, because the battle is far from over, and what Celine faces next might just be her toughest struggle yet. The rise and fall of Hong Kong's youngest big name. Let's roll it back to where it all began. Celine Tom, regularly compared to her namesake Celine Dion, was almost born with a microphone in her hand. She was born on November 22, 2007 in Hong Kong, into a household that could nearly be described as a living jukebox. Her dad, Dr. Steve Tam, was a music teacher, and her mom, Zin Shah, ensured there was always music playing. Her little sister was also named Dion. Just in case you didn't catch that, her parents were truly into Celine Dion. Tam, however, somehow walked the tightrope of being both coached and nurtured by her father, ensuring she wasn't completely burned out while training to sing like a seasoned professional. Celine's big break came in 2017 when she auditioned for America's Got Talent. She was only 9 years old, standing before a crowd that would have been intimidating for anyone, let alone a child, and yet she sang, "My Heart Will Go On." Like it was nothing. The crowd ate it up. There was even a moment when guest judge Lavera Cox hit the golden buzzer, sending her straight to the live shows. While everyone lost their collective minds, she went from being a kid singing in the car to being catapulted into international stardom. She became a sensation not just in Hong Kong, but worldwide. It seemed like she was on an unstoppable trajectory. The next thing you know, she, after AGT, was performing in competitions, on TV shows, and at fancy events. For a while, everything was coming up roses for the young star, but this is where the fairy tale takes a nosedive. Her journey on America's Got Talent came to an abrupt halt when she didn't make it to the finals. "Is it me? Is it really me?" she asked in disbelief. "Yeah, you're not kidding me." To many, it was a shocking moment. How could the little girl who had wowed everyone get eliminated? The answer always lay within the harsh realities of TV competitions, audience votes, and let's be real, some politics behind the scenes. She was good, incredibly good, but sometimes that's just not enough. The judges were torn. Simon Cowell praised her growth, but Melb didn't hold back, calling her performance too theatrical. The crowd booed Melb, but the damage was done. Despite getting praise from most of the judges, the votes simply weren't enough to push her through. What happens after you've been in the spotlight on one of the biggest stages in the world? For her, it meant a complex mix of opportunities and letdowns. Her return to Hong Kong was met with celebrations, but when the fanfare died down, she had to find a way to keep her music career afloat. She performed at events like the 2017 Missy Hong Kong pageant and appeared on other shows like Singer 2018, a Chinese competition where she faced off against professional vocalists, and while she wowed audiences, the path wasn't exactly smooth sailing. She collaborated extensively with another young singer, Jeffrey Lee. Their duet of You Raise Me Up went viral, but even viral fame has an expiration date. Their performances showcased undeniable chemistry and talent, but it didn't exactly secure either of them a long-term seat in the big leagues. The music industry is ruthless, and staying relevant is much harder than getting that first flash of recognition. 2 years after her initial burst of fame, she got another shot at the big time. She performed at The World's Got Talent special in 2019, which gathered top talents from around the world for a one-off event. She sang her heart out, and for a moment it seemed like maybe this was her big comeback. She even got the golden buzzer, but once again she didn't win the title. It was like she was always so close, but just not quite there. It's a sad truth that's almost unavoidable in this line of work. There are countless talented people out there, and not all of them will make it to the top. Behind all life after AGT of this, let's not forget, she was still just a kid trying to live her life. Fame at such a young age can be more of a burden than a blessing. While she was busy attending events and training for performances, there were school friendships and the everyday experiences that normal 12-year-olds deal with. Her dad continued to play a significant role, but even with the best support, balancing everything wasn't easy. Social media became her way to stay connected with fans and maintain public interest. Her Facebook page helped keep followers updated, but as with most young stars, there's only so much you can do to hold people's attention. Interest waned, and she, once an international sensation, became more of a local star. The truth is, being a child star sounds glamorous, but it comes with its own harsh realities. 1 minute you're in the spotlight, and the next everyone has moved on to the next big thing. Her talent was never in question. She had the voice, no doubt, but the entertainment world is brutal, especially for young performers. It chews people up and spits them out. For every child star who makes it, dozens fade away. For her, it wasn't about losing talent or drive. She could still sing, and she had a voice most people would dream of. But after the America's Got Talent hype faded, reality set in, and the opportunities weren't as abundant as they had seemed when she was standing on that stage, covered in golden confetti, the cheers still echoing in her ears after Laverne Cox slammed the golden buzzer. It was a moment most young singers only dream of: instant fame, viral videos, worldwide praise. But after the spotlight fades, the real story begins. Let's take a look at what happens when a young artist steps off the glittering stage and faces the world beyond the applause. It's no longer about one perfect moment. It's about the long, uncertain path of staying relevant in an industry that forgets quickly. Celine Tam continued to perform and grow as an artist, slowly maturing into her voice and identity. There's no doubt she has the talent and heart to return to the spotlight one day. But for now, her story is not one of explosive fame or overnight success. It's a story of persistence, of surviving the ups and downs that follow early fame and trying to carve out a place in a world always searching for the next big thing. No longer was she the novelty act who wowed audiences with her rendition of My Heart Will Go On at 9 years old. She was now just one among many gifted young singers, all striving to stand out in an overcrowded industry. Her father, Dr. Steve Tam, remained a cornerstone in her career. His dual role as her vocal coach and parent had always been essential, but not without its complications. As Celine grew older, the pressure of maintaining her career while trying to experience a normal childhood grew more intense. Balancing vocal training, performances, and appearances with homework and downtime became increasingly difficult. Reports surfaced that Dr. Tam was allegedly being too controlling or pushing his daughter too hard. But those stories only scratched the surface. The reality was far more complex. He was a father who deeply believed in his daughter's potential, and like any parent navigating unfamiliar terrain, he had to make difficult choices, some of which drew public criticism. There's no manual for raising a child star. Every step was a gamble, every decision dissected. While she wore a smile in public and sang with passion, behind the scenes Celine was still a teenager facing the same insecurities, questions, and growing pains as her peers. The difference? Her adolescence was unfolding on a public stage. While classmates in Hong Kong focused on school assignments, weekend plans, and growing friendships, Celine balanced rehearsals, music lessons, stage presence training, and endless networking in the entertainment world. She attended school, but her schedule was anything but typical. Some classmates were inspired and supportive, recognizing her from TV. Others treated her differently. Fame has a way of separating you from the crowd. The isolation that often accompanies celebrity began to creep into her life. Sleepovers were rare. Birthday parties were often missed. Normal teenage experiences, crushes, awkward moments, casual hangouts, were traded for long hours in studios or in front of cameras. Even when Dr. Tam made efforts to protect her childhood and carve out personal time, it was nearly impossible to separate the performer from the girl behind the voice. The two worlds bled into each other. Every show she booked, every competition she entered, every fan interaction came at the cost of something else. Precious, fleeting moments of a life she could never fully live outside the spotlight. Still, Celine found joy. She genuinely loved to sing, and that love showed in every note she hit and every performance she gave. The sparkle in her eyes when she stood under the lights, the pride in her face after nailing a difficult song, those were the moments that made it all worthwhile. They were reminders that, despite the pressure and the sacrifices, this was her passion. But passion, while beautiful, is never free. The price was steep. As expectations mounted and the industry grew more competitive, the burden grew heavier. And yet, through it all, Celine Tam kept singing. Because for her, the stage wasn't just a platform, it was home.